All right. Welcome to Blue Pill Podcast. This is Abe, your host. Yes, today's a Blue Pill Podcast episode because I'm a regular person. I'm not 24/7 a conspiracy theorist. Something happened yesterday, and we will get a little woo-woo because there is some woo-woo shit that happened yesterday that literally freaked me out. I wish I could show you. I may actually just record from my wife's phone, my phone, to actually show you the evidence. And I'll get into that in a little bit. So that was Paranoid from Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne, obviously. And you already know what this episode's essentially going to be by clicking on the title. So as far as updates, man, just been chilling, working, playing Zelda. I did a Minish Cap review. I got to the third form of Vati. I need to do. Last night I spent an hour doing side quest, getting my hearts built up, learning the Great Spin Attack, all that jazz, and I couldn't beat him. But I did a Minish Cap review. I'm still going to beat it, knock on wood. But I did a review because I made it to the final boss. I'm just going to do a review. I'm currently playing Zelda's Adventure, so if you like my Zelda reviews, go to the Zelda playlist. There will be more. I'm playing it now. I beat the first dungeon, which is pretty cool. It's actually a very short game, so you should, knock on wood, see a review of it very soon. Sorry, I'm doing technical stuff here too. But yeah, as far as updates, I mean, there's really not much except for this, but work is fine. Life is beautiful. Hang on. Alright, so I'm Abe, your host. This is Lemmy Chillmeister, your co-host. Yesterday. So, I had a spooky experience. It was around 3 in the afternoon, and my wife, she went swimming with her sister yesterday. And if you hear that noise, I'm sorry, dude. I got a cat who doesn't understand the word no. I wish her mother would do something about it. That'd be nice. My wife Sammy went swimming yesterday with her sister. And I'd just been I'd taken a nap, and I got up and I was getting ready for work because I got up super fucking ass crack of dawn on 4 hours of sleep. I'm I'm not going to work on 4 hours of sleep. So I did a little bit of shit around the house and stuff, but I'm going back to bed. Speaking of which, today, dude, I'm running on not much sleep. I was sleeping beautifully till my cat peed on my foot while I was in bed because she's got kidney problems. But yesterday I was just texting her throughout the day, not trying to bug, but just small talk. And I was like, hey, dude, I don't know why, it just popped in my head. I had talked to my coworker the night before, and he's like, you know how Ozzy did that last concert? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, they're gonna be putting it out in cinemas. And you guys know me, man. I've always said if I ever won the lotto, I would start a cinema. My dad was a cinephile. I grew up in a house. We had literally a special room that was literally walking into a Blockbuster. It was dope. My dad collected films VHSs, DVDs, everything, film, and I freak a lot of older people out because I understand a shit ton of references, and they're like, how do you know about that? And I'm like, homie, if you knew how many movies I'd seen, I've seen a shit ton, And I'm talking B movies. My dad collected everything. He'd be like, "Oh, I never seen the movie Anaconda's 3000. Let's get it. 50 cents, a quarter, whatever." He'd come home with just stacks of VHSs. He just wanted to watch movies. He didn't care if it was a B movie, anything. But so I love going to the movie theaters, and sadly, they're dying out. So me and my wife, we do a lot of movie theater dates, and I'm like, I'd always wanted to go see a concert in a movie theater. We have a nice theater up here. It's Marcus Theaters. It's a movie tavern. So I can have a couple cocktails and watch a movie and have an actual dinner, not just popcorn. It's a dope theater. And they got recliners. Everyone's in a recliner. It's insane. Go experience it at least once. But they played like Metallica, a live concert of Metallica. And I was like, dude, I wanted to get tickets to it, but we were just broke and I wanted to go see it. But I always, because you can't, there's no way I can afford to go to these actual concerts. Like, there's no way that I would have seen Ozzy's last show with Black Sabbath. It would have been like thousands of dollars. But yeah, so I told my wife, I texted her, I'm like, hey, they're bringing Black Sabbath's last show to theaters. And I texted her about 3 in the afternoon. And I kid you not, like, I got in the car, drank my cup of coffee, got ready for work, and I went to go get some Taco Bell. And when I got to Taco Bell and I was eating, I find out Ozzy Osbourne died. And I'm like, what the fuck? I just texted my wife about, and it was literally the last thing I texted her, like an hour before. I'm like, that's fucking spooky. And I don't know, I just thought that was interesting. So Ozzy Osbourne died, dude. Hang on just a second. So I kind of wanted to read this article. I'm just gonna honestly just report on Ozzy today, probably for the whole episode. So, when will Ozzy Osbourne's final concert with Black Sabbath hit theaters? And this is by Merca 2.0. Fans will have one more chance to see, just making sure it's recording, Ozzy Osbourne's final concert with Black Sabbath, coming soon to theaters, so I'm fucking stoked about this. This Tuesday, July 22nd, the death of Ozzy Osbourne was announced. Very sad, dude. Very fucking sad. And I'm going to pull up an article on how he actually died, because all I had heard, like, when I literally found out, like, right before work, and my job's busy as fuck. I don't really get much time to, like, sit on my phone. Other employees seem to have all the time in the world to do that, but I don't. So he had told me, my buddy, my coworker, was like, dude, Ozzy died. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, I know he has Parkinson's. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, and him and Sharon had apparently been talking about assisted suicide. Which, I'm just going to be quite frank. You guys know me. If you want to be able to kill yourself, I think you should be allowed to do that. Whether it's health problems, mental problems, depression, like whatever. I think you were not given the option to choose to be born. But I believe you should be given the option to choose to die. It is your life. Not your mother's, not your father's, it's your life. And you didn't choose to be here. I'm sorry. You can call the cops, mental institution, whatever. Like, they can lock me up and throw me in Eastern State, but I'm sorry, but I think you should be allowed to commit suicide. So now that I've taken that hot take, yeah, apparently this is from my friend, my buddy, so just saying, he had been talking about here recently in, like, interviews or something, that him and Sharon, like, she's cool with it. he wants to go. He's got Parkinson's. He had like physical health problems from his like four-wheeler accident. Um, that's what he had told me, was basically that they were talking about assisted suicide, and I think it was like Norway or Switzerland or something. One of those European countries with like beautiful white women that look Nordic. um, yeah, I mean, the dude treated his body like a playground, you know. And I love Ozzy. I've treated my body like a playground, nowhere near as him. But like, yeah, he probably fucking struggles. And I've seen like the most recent videos of him. I keep up with Oz because I'm a huge Ozzy fan and Black Sabbath fan. And yeah, I mean, he was looking pretty rough towards the end. He was like 76. He died at 76. So I'm not sure if that's true, if it's just rumor, it's all hearsay. I don't know. So I did find it interesting that he died right after mentioning assisted suicide. So, the legendary British singer and frontman of the iconic band Black Sabbath has passed away, leaving deep sorrow throughout the entertainment world, especially among fans, who will have one more chance to witness the star's final concert. Osbourne's farewell will be coming to movie theaters. Here's when, so you don't miss the date. When Ozzy Osbourne's final concert, when will it hit theaters? Good news, you won't have to wait long, as Ozzy's final show will be screened in cinemas in early 2026. Just a few months away, and sure to fly by. So, here's some more details on it. The history of Black Sabbath. Hang on. Oh, sorry. I scrolled. Technical difficulty. What will Ozzy Osbourne's final concert cinema screening be like? Back to the Beginning, Ozzy's Final Bow is what it's called. Will be a condensed version of the historic concert. So it is condensed. That kind of blows. But I mean, concerts can be like 3 hours long, so, you know. Most people don't want to sit in a movie theater seat for like 3 hours, you know. And his concert was held in Villa Park in Birmingham. Not Birmingham, Alabama. It was like England. Because you guys know, we name our shit after England. Like York, New York, you know. Fans will relive the unforgettable experience with exclusive backstage access and never-before-seen interviews, so that's cool. Brand new material. According to producers, the film will be an emotional and powerful farewell, a personal tribute to the legacy of the Prince of Darkness and Godfather of heavy metal. That sounds dope, dude. That's I want to go see this so bad. That's a history of Black Sabbath. We won't really get into that. Members of Black Sabbath. Alright, so let's get into the official story of how he passed away. Like I said, I'm not on here like pushing some conspiracy that he went to Switzerland or wherever the fuck it was to like kill himself in a suicide pod. I'm not saying that. I just find it interesting that it happened around the same time that I heard this from my friend. So let's just hear the official story, because I don't know. All I heard was Ozzy died. That's it. I didn't have time to research it, so I'm learning with you. Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath frontman and heavy metal legend, dies at 76. Ozzy Osbourne, a founding father of British heavy metal, a latter-day solo star, and a new millennium reality TV luminary, died Tuesday after a year-long struggle with Parkinson's disease. He was 76. Everyone, I kept for some reason thinking he was 73, but he's 76, had Parkinson's, which I mentioned earlier. It's a horrible illness. My uncle has Parkinson's, and he literally cannot walk 10 feet without shaking to death, you know. Not literally, but, you know. A statement from his family reads, It is more. It is with more sadness than mere words can convey that we have to report that our beloved Ozzy Osbourne has passed away this morning. He was with his family and surrounded by love. We ask everyone to respect our family privacy at this time. So, his family was around. And his last concert was only like a couple weeks ago, dude. So he must have declined like quick, you know. He had performed just 2 weeks ago, yeah, 2 weeks ago, at what was billed as Black Sabbath's last concert. Unless he just knew. I don't know. That's another reason, like, I want to go to the theaters and see this film, because I want to see, was he already, like, super declining at the concert, you know? I am very curious. The last performance I had seen with him was him and Post Malone. This was probably like 2 or 3 years ago now, but because time flies. But he was so old then that when he went on with Post Malone, they had a special fucking throne for the Prince of Darkness. It looked dope as fuck too, like satanic. And he just sat and like sang. He didn't like even stand, or Oz, man. He was like full of energy, like a gumball, just bouncing all over the fucking place. He had performed to the Back to the Beginning festival in his band in his and the band's hometown of Birmingham, England. So he played at his hometown. That's cool. That amounted to a massive tribute to the legendary band, including from such legendary spiritual offspring as Metallica, Guns N' Roses. Metallica's cool. Slayer's dope. Tool, I like them. Pantera's sick. Alice in Chains. Do they do the one, yeah, here comes the rooster, yeah? Because if so, I like them too. GNR sucks though. I hate Guns N' Roses. I'm sorry. There's like one song that's dope. It's the song that they play during Terminator 2 when John Connor's like riding around being a little heathen on his motorcycle or dirt bike. That song's dope. That's about it. Every other fucking GNR song I fucking hate. Sorry. Hot take. Hot take. In January 2020, following 2 years of escalating health problems, Osbourne announced that he had been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Oh, January 2020, did I say that? In February 2023, he issued a statement saying that he was retiring from touring, citing spinal injuries he has sustained in a 2018 accident, which I do recall that. I might have even said something about that he fell in the shower, I think, and like broke his hip. Help, I've fallen and I can't get up, if I recall correctly. He said, in all good conscience, I have now come to the realization that I'm not physically capable of doing my upcoming European UK tour dates. Here's something I seen a commenter comment in I think it was The Quartering, who I heard it from. He broke the news to me, so shout outs to him. Go sub and shit and tell him who sent you. Maybe he'll give me a shout out. Anyways, someone was like, oh, Sharon finally ran him to death, Look, man, I was like, I kind of agreed, because I do recall interviews or someone filming them, and Sharon being like, yeah, you got a show tomorrow, and then the next day, and Oz bitching, going, what the fuck, Sharon? Like, dude, I told you I need, like, I think it was like 2 or 3 days off in between concerts. I can't do back-to-back concerts anymore. I'm not 20 years old anymore. This isn't Black Sabbath, I don't know. I love watching Sharon and Ozzy together. I truly believe in my heart of hearts they were soulmates, There's a beautiful video that he did. It actually starred Val Kilmer's son. um, which he passed away here recently too. Val Kilmer, not his son, but his son is playing Ozzy in the music video, and it shows how like Ozzy's life was a wreck. And then Sharon shows up to the hotel room and she detoxes him and straightens him up. And like it's a beautiful fucking video, dude. First time I seen it, man, I was crying like a baby. Just type in on YouTube Ozzy Osbourne, Val Kilmer's son, and you should be able to find it, or Google it. I mean, we have the internet, you know. So I don't know. I just thought that was kind of a little disrespectful. Did she run him ragged? Probably, but in the end, I don't think that's what killed him, you know. That's just, that was mean, you know. And Ozzy loved her. That's all that matters, is they were in love with each other. And I truly do believe that. That's all that matters. He said, in all good conscience, I have now come to the realization that I am not physical capable. Yeah. So, and then he said, as I know I couldn't deal with the travel required, believe me when I say that the thought of disappointing my fans really fucks me up. I love Oz. He cussed like a sailor, dude. Do you remember watching the Osbournes and just every other word was beep, 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 beep? More than you will ever know. It's like watching Jerry Springer. Never would I have imagined that my touring days would have ended this way. From 1969 to 79, Osbourne was the headbanging frontman for the Birmingham, England-based Black Sabbath, which codified the bottom-heavy, churning sound and lyrical demonology that would course through dozens of metal bands to come. Though the group's history was a chaotic one characterized by monumental substance abuse and tumultuous infighting in early albums, survive as classics of the genre. On the occasion of Black Sabbath's 2006 induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, critic Deborah Frost wrote, Black Sabbath simply oozed upon us, unfestooned by any pretense of art, peace, love, understanding, or mushroom embroidery, and immediately defined heavy metal. Hell yeah. They were the inventors of it, man. Fired from Sabbath in 1979, Ozzy Osbourne launched a solo career of his own that, in commercial terms, surpassed the success of his former band. His groups launched Zakk Wylde and the late Randy Rhoads as metal guitar stars. Yeah, Zakk Wylde. It's either Zakk Wylde or... No, it's Randy Rhoads is dead, yeah. Dude, I heard this insane fucking story that... I don't know how fucking true it was, but it was someone talking. It was either Sharon or a band member or ex-girlfriend or something was talking about how much he was drinking during Black Sabbath. And the story was that he would literally drink 1.5 gallons of whiskey and pass out and like go into a coma for like 3 or 4 days straight. Like not get up, just sleep, you know. And then he would get up, eat, and drink 1.5 gallons of whiskey and do it again. Like it was like a cycle, dude. It was insane. I'm like, how is this motherfucker not dead, dude? I ain't gonna lie, dude. I didn't think he'd make it to 76, man. His popularity among metal fans was so immense that his wife and manager, Sharon Osbourne, built a touring festival, Ozfest, around him. That would have been so cool to go to. My parents were like super Christian, super strict though. Like, it kind of made me, it kind of blows, man. Like, I haven't really been to that many concerts. Like, my wife took me to see Doyle, took me to see Yellow Wolf, which was dope. And then I seen local punk bands like once or twice, maybe 3 times. That was it. That's the only concerts I've ever been to. My parents took me to Casey and the Sunshine Band. Woo! You know. Oh, I did get to see Stomp. Stomp was a sick show. But I haven't been to that much concerts, man, and it used to make me so jealous, dude, that like all my friends would go to concerts and shit. They'd be like, we were like 14, 15 years old, you know, and they'd be like, yeah, I'm going to see Slipknot Friday. And I'm like, must be nice. First of all, my parents were super religious. I couldn't. My dad listened to shitty rock. That's what he listened to. He listened to shitty rock. Like, wheel in the sky keeps on turning. Was that Foreigner or something? Like Fleetwood Mac. I'm sorry, I don't like Fleetwood Mac. He listened to like hair metal. Like, he just listened to horrible, typical bubblegum mainstream classic rock. Like, anytime War Pigs would come on, he'd flip the channel. And as a kid, I'm like, dude, that shit sounds dark and creepy and dope, dude. That sounds like Legend of Zelda. You know? Sounds spooky. I want to hear that. And he'd be like, no, we can't listen to that song. And I'm like, I didn't ask why, because I knew not to ever ask my parents why. But, he'd be like, oh, it's, fucking Lilith. Sorry, guys. Oh, it's satanic, you know. He talks about witches burning, you know. Or, like, Iron Man would come on, which is about Jesus coming back. The rapture. And it kind of makes me sad, too, because it's like, I get it. You got your Christian beliefs. But, like, a lot of people don't even know this, but Ozzy was, for one, he was a friend of Bill. He was in Alcoholics Anonymous. And he was a Christian. And a lot of people don't fucking know that. And when you tell them that, they're like, wait, Ozzy's Christian? Why is his music so satanic? And it's like, you know, Alice Cooper's a Christian too. And what? Like, yeah, there's a lot of... You can separate yourself. Like, Alice Cooper said it perfectly, that he's like, yeah, I'm a Christian. But when I'm on stage, I'm still a Christian, but I'm not me anymore. I'm Alice. And it's just a show, you know. Like, people are so fucking stupid. When I used to have a horror punk band, Vicious Fist, back in the day, we used to sing the most evil, fucked up shit. That was our shtick. How can we be as evil, if not more evil, than like Iggy Pop, Marilyn Manson, and the Misfits? Lyrically, on-stage presence, let's be as satanic and evil as fuck. Because we wanted to get noticed. We wanted to be like, you know, I didn't know about Gigi Allen back then. But, yeah. And I remember like rednecks in school who would hear us play like the talent show or something would be like, try to pick on me and try to fight me in the hallways, be like, do you really like sacrifice babies to Satan? And I'm like, yeah, I really sacrifice babies to Satan. That's why I'm at school right now and not in an FBI office being interrogated. And they were so stupid that they'd go, see, he admitted it. You know, like, it's like, oh, God. Kentucky sucks, man. But, I don't know, so... I guess my first, honestly, exposure to Ozzy Osbourne was my sister-in-law. She gave me her dad's old cassettes, let me borrow them, because I had a 91 Grand Marquis with a tape player. And I got to experience original Black Sabbath, the Paranoid album, for the first time in a 91 Grand Marquis, driving around. This was like 2011. And it blew my fucking mind, dude. And I played the fuck out of that cassette tape, dude. And that's honestly like how I got super huge into Sabbath. I got huge into Sabbath and listened to as much Sabbath as I could. And then I got into, obviously, Ozzy Osbourne, his solo shit, which is amazing and totally different than Sabbath, you know. But Osbourne garnered additional fame early in the new millennium as the adult paterfamilias of the Osbournes, a MTV reality series that focused its lens on the rock star's home life. New York Times TV critic Karen James wrote of the show's second season bow in 2002, the Osbournes remain a wacky, harmlessly outrageous variation of everyday family. I love the Osbournes. I don't care if it's fake. I've heard people go, "Oh, it's fake. It's scripted." I don't care. It's an awesome fucking show, man. So let's see. I want to see what he actually officially died from. So I'm not really able to find it. Just says health complications, man. Sounds like he was old. He ran himself rugged, obviously. Rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne, because I know you believed in Jesus, so if what you believe is true, you're in heaven, you know? Hey, maybe he's hanging out with Dio. I wonder how that would go. Well, no, Dio I don't think was Christian, though. I don't care about heaven and hell and all that bullshit anyways. Sorry, I just said Dio and then heaven and hell. But yeah, I wanted to talk about how I got into Ozzy, the weird, creepy ass fucking spooky synchronicity yesterday with his death and shit. And like I said, I will show you guys, record my actual phone, like, dude, look what time it was. This is when I found out. It was just like, cause you can think and say anything. And why, out of everything in our reality, would I talk about Black Sabbath and then he dies? Like, around the same time. That is so fucking bizarre, dude. But I love y'all. Let me know in the comments if you liked Ozzy Osbourne. If you liked Black Sabbath. And it was a sad day. Like, I didn't cry or nothing, because I never knew Ozzy. But it was sad. It was like, oh man, that fucking blows. Because I love Ozzy. I've always been a huge fan. And it's crazy, like the past 5 years, anytime I'd play Black Sabbath or Ozzy, Sammy would always say, you know, we need to go see him before he goes. And I'm like, yeah. Do you have thousands of dollars? But I love y'all. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you choose to donate, please do. I have a Buy Me a Coffee account set up. Wherever you're listening, in the description below. It helps me with, like, paying for my computer, like maintenance on my computer, pens and paper, all that jazz. It goes back into the channel. But y'all have a good day.